By 1099, Anna and Gregorios were 7 years old. Anna was a natural genius. She could write very well and was already reading advanced books. She grew and matured far faster than Gregorios. In her teen years, Anna began to actively build influence in the Senate, acquainting herself with every politician in Constantinople. Gregorios, on the other hand, matured far slower than Anna. Alexios wanted Gregorios to grow to be a great ruler. He made Simeon the tutor of Gregorios, giving Simeon the task of educating the heir to the Roman Empire. Over the course of the next 2 years, Gregorios spent many of his days at the University of Constantinople. Simeon was a great teacher. Gregorios learned how to read, write, speak Latin and Hebrew. Gregorios soaked up information like a sponge, eventually actively seeking out new information in the university's library. At the same time, Alfric trained Gregorios in combat, alongside Simeon's grandson, Isaac, who was the son of David. Gregorios and Isaac dueled each other hundreds of times a day, mastering the art of swordplay and hand-to-hand combat. Before long, Alfric started to teach Gregorios how to ride a horse. Not long after mastering the skill of horsemanship, 11-year-old Gregorios famously taught himself how to ride a chariot, and participated in several chariot races at the Hippodrome. Though he never won, his bravery and boldness at such a young age won him the respect of the people of Constantinople. Simeon then began to teach Gregorios about the history of the empire. Gregorios learned about the triumphs of men such as Caesar and the empire created by his successor, Augustus. One day, Simeon led Gregorios to the statue of Romanos, which was not far from the university. Under the statue, Simeon told Gregorios all about Romanos. He told Gregorios how Romanos was an ambitious man who planned to conquer the East and restore Rome's dominance. He told the story of Romanos' incredible victory at Manzikert, and how he crippled the Seljuk Empire, and of how Romanos annihilated the Caliphate at the Battle of Ankara. And lastly, he told Gregorios of how Romanos' dreams were never realized, as he was assassinated by the Dukas family. Inspired by the story of Romanos, Gregorios then began to idolize the late emperor, dreaming of how he would fulfill Romanos' vision of an empire that held territories deep in Mesopotamia and the Levant. Simeon continued to educate Gregorios, who by now was becoming a genius. Gregorios learned everything Simeon knew about astronomy and mathematics, and would draw up complex siege engines in his free time, imagining how he would use these machines to conquer cities. Gregorios had an early growth spurt, and by age 14 was almost as tall as his father, Emperor Alexios. His sword skills rapidly improved. Gregorios and Isaac began to help the city guard as they took down criminals throughout the city. He and Isaac were acclaimed as heroes by the people of the city. In 1107, Alexios began to make arrangements for Gregorios' future. In the past few years, the Kingdom of Hungary had expanded southwards, conquering Croatia. Hungary was now a powerful kingdom that almost entirely surrounded the Roman Empire's European frontier. At the same time, the Kingdom of Serbia overthrew their pro-Roman ruler. The new Serbian king adopted anti-Roman policies, banishing Greek merchants from his realm. The Serbian king also tried to secure military assistance from the Knights of Adana to fight against the Romans. Alexios would not let this stand. He found a great opportunity. King Kalaman of Hungary had an unmarried princess in his court named Peruska. Negotiations soon began for a marriage between Peruska and Gregorios. The negotiations were successful. Peruska was betrothed to Gregorios, and Hungary and the Roman Empire were now allies. Furthermore, the two allies agreed to partition the rogue kingdom of Serbia. King Kalaman prepared to invade Serbia from the north, while the governor of Bulgaria assembled an army on Serbia's southern border. Alexios allowed Gregorios to join this army, hoping that the Serbian war would provide good military experience for Gregorios. Gregorios prepared to depart Constantinople. He said his farewells to Simeon, who he loved like a father at this point. The people of Constantinople cheered for Gregorios as he left the city. Accompanied by his best friend Isaac, as well as Alfric and the Varangian Guard, Gregorios marched off to join the war in Serbia.